Today we are discovering what secrets Survivor Edge of Extinction did not tell us in the edited television show. We are going to look at secrets that are game related, some that are personal thoughts, and some that are just plain silly. And we will even find out all the details on how Survivor thought the Edge was going to be popular with fans, and how one player even matched with John Cochran. That's right, the John Cochran on Tinder. Basically, as long as it isn't part of the show that aired on television, it is fair game to be considered a secret. And while most of the secrets here are focused on season 38, Edge of Extinction, some of them do apply to Survivor as a whole. With that, thanks for watching Once Upon an Island. Liking and subscribing really helps, and if you want to pick what videos I make and watch every video weeks and even months early, then consider supporting the channel on Patreon. Patreon makes everything here possible and allows the channel to be free of sponsors and advertisers. Thank you for your support. Heads up, this list contains the secrets that I personally found to be the most interesting. Not every single secret in existence about this season is in this video. So with that, let's count all 49 of them in absolutely no particular order.
39 days, 18 people, 1 survivor.
Number 1. Some of you may be familiar with Big Brother Canada, as the host of that show is Arisa Cox. I hope I'm saying that right. And for a time, she used to do pre-game Survivor press. Now, I personally have not seen Big Brother Canada, so I can't speak on that show. But in the pre-game press she does, she's always kind of a pushover, for lack of a better word. And it's frustrating because Jeff explains the Edge, and the whole time she's like, wow, this is the greatest idea I've ever heard. And she gives zero pushback on how fans might respond to this twist.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
That was wild. Again, you don't cease to amaze me, this team, because to keep coming back and to keep coming up with these fresh ideas and to take risks, that's what every TV producer wants. That's what every TV viewer at home wants, truly.
Number 2, like many other people this season, Victoria is a super fan and has been for a long time, and that's what I like to see in a cast. In fact, she's the one who matched with Cochran on Tinder.
When I was like 8 years old, I asked Santa Claus for a Survivor buff, and I got the Pearl Islands buff in my stocking. I still have it to this day. In my dating life, like, I've matched with Cochran on Tinder just to ask him, how do I get on Survivor?
Number 3. In the pregame press, David went a little nuts with how much he was overthinking things and all these grand ideas he had for the show. One of those ideas was him wanting to create something called the Soul Vote Advantage, and I want to know if you think this is a good idea or a bad idea for him or even the show to implement.
I want to create a fake advantage. Someone will find it. I call it the Soul Vote Advantage, where by playing this advantage, which is fake, so it won't actually do this, but they think it will, it'll cancel tribal voting. And then they must announce who they want to send home. And then, of course, if they're hiding that, now they're out, and hopefully that creates a war between two players who aren't me.
Number 4, Matt Van Wagenen, I hope I'm saying that right, is a longtime executive producer on the show, and he says, boy, will these fans just love the Edge of Extinction. I think it's fascinating to see Survivor Productions' thoughts on this twist before they heard our feedback. Not that it mattered, they still did it for Winners at War anyways.
I think they're going to love it because I think it gives an opportunity for players that they like to keep playing in the game. It basically is an all-in situation. So if there's a good chance that there's someone who you like, they could be there all the way to the end of the game, which is a lot of fun for us.
Number 5, Survivor Ghost Island had just finished airing when everyone went out to play on season 38, and man, the players on this season are all baffled by how Laurel could just sit on her hands week after week when clearly seeing how Dom and Wendell were running that season. Here's Kelly Wentworth's thoughts on this.
This past finale of Ghost Island, like, you had Kellen, you had Laurel, and it just felt like Laurel wouldn't make the move. And it frustrated me so much because I feel like everyone could see it. And even she talked about it. She like talked herself out of it. Like, oh, I love Wendell, so I can't. It's like, no, girl, this is $1 million. Like, you'll make it up on the outside. So I think that was frustrating.
Number 6, it's revealed in a secret scene that the Kama tribe was really worried that the returning players might eat up all the screen time and leave none for them. And I would say this is a valid complaint, especially when you don't know what the Edge is yet. And Jeff explained it as a theme focusing on these 4 returnees when you were on the ship at the beginning of the show.
As far as the returning players, what do you guys think?
It's hard not to think that they both played twice already.
There's a reason they were here 2 times. They know what they're doing.
I just think that it's going to be like a Joe and Aubrey show if they're here the whole time.
Number 7. Lauren, like Victoria, is a super fan of Survivor as well, going even further back to at least season 2, as she explains how she would reenact the show with her dolls to make more favorable results.
I was probably 3 years old. I had these 2 Barbies. I had Barbie and Ken, right? And I took them to Final Tribal Council, and one was Colby and one was Tina. And Colby was my Prince Charming, so Colby always won, right? And my dad walked in, this is how he tells it, is he walked in, he's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm practicing for Final Tribal Council, you know, like my Final Tribal Council.
Number 8. The Tribal Council this season is pretty cool. We have clearly seen bigger and more impressive sets, and I only say this because Jeff claims this is the biggest they have ever built. But I find that hard to believe when compared to the shipwreck on Cook Islands.
Well, this season, when you look at Tribal, it's pretty obvious. It is nautical. It's a giant shipwreck, but it's the biggest one we've ever done. It was a massive build. And the idea behind it, because we always have a story behind it, is that this ship was involved in trade, you know, so there's all kinds of supplies on the ship, and you'll see the stools that the survivors are sitting on and some of the backdrop. You get the idea that this ship crashed here, and whatever was on it has been left behind, and that's what we're utilizing.
Number 9. Some seasons this happens and it's painful to watch. Here, it's no different. Jeff does a comedy thing where he snuffs Arisa's torch and, yeah.
And it pains me to do this, Arisa. It really does.
No. Oh, no.
You're on my turf, and so I'm in charge. And I hate to say it, but Arisa, the tribe has spoken.
Wait. A power veto competition?
No. The tribe has...
A twist? Something?
Arisa, the tribe has spoken. Here it goes. Time for you to go. Arisa, off into the darkness, edge of extinction awaiting. And once again, Survivor proves this game does not suffer fools. Have fun, Arisa! She's never gonna make it.
Number 10. After War Dog gets voted out, we saw on the show Reem get mad at him in a short clip, but in a secret scene, this is extended by a lot and it is still hilarious all these years later.
Listen, dude, you've insulted a lot of people, and I'm gonna be kind and not say anything to you this evening, but you can bet your rear end you're gonna get it tomorrow from me, just so you know. Set expectations.
I'm glad you're still bitter, Reem. I'm not bitter at all.
Scoot over.
I'm not moving right now.
Don't talk to me like that. We're oil and water, so why are you even sitting next to me? Water's over there. Roll on over to it,
I'm gonna sit where I want to sit, Reem.
You are, and don't want to deal with your tonight. I will deal with it tomorrow.
We go over it tonight.
No, I will go over it when I feel like going over it.
Well, then in that case, don't go over with me at all then. So I won't feel like
tell me what I am going to do.
Number 11. As you may or may not know, Ron Clark isn't just a teacher, but kind of a big deal in the teaching world. A teaching celebrity, if you will. He runs a school in Georgia, and let me say, it looks amazing, especially for any of you Harry Potter fans.
One of the most magical parts about RCA is our house system. Upon entering our school, students spin the big wheel, journey down our slide, and are sorted into one of 4 houses. Students land in Nissa Bindi, the House of Courage, River, the House of Dreamers, Amistad, the House of Friendship, or Altruismo, the House of Givers. They then earn points throughout the year for honesty, hard work, outstanding effort, and dedication. At that time, we will also be announcing our new RCA app, where you can easily track all of your house points. Teachers can reward students with points in a flash, and their successes can then be seen by the entire school on a display TV. Parents can even receive notifications when their children are rewarded.
Number 12. But before that, Ron Clark had a movie made about him starring Matthew Perry from Friends. I'm not joking. It isn't a huge budget flick as it was made for TV, but it is enjoyable to see at least once, and I will link you to it in the description below, as YouTube has it for you to watch for free with ads.
You really think it appropriate to do this with the students?
Well, I'm certainly not going to double dutch with you.
Number 13. In a secret scene that is around the episode 3 mark, Wendy is being over dramatic with her stick cane. And David says, I cannot believe my tribe is making fun of her. Someone should do something about this. As if David couldn't speak up.
Like so dramatic.
I'm getting very upset with my tribe because it's like, we're people, we're human beings, we're supposed to be in this together, and suddenly Wendy injures her foot, and it's like the tiger that sees like an injured gazelle and suddenly just pounces on it. And it's like, calm down everybody, like she's a part of the tribe. We need to make her feel comfortable rather than making fun of her.
Number 14. I know Jeff tries to explain why these 4 players were brought back to play at the beginning of the season, but we all know that was just for show to throw the cast off from the real twist. But, why were they brought back for reals?
So Kelly Wentworth, one of the most dominant women to ever play. She's the spirit of the game. It just runs through her. David was, I think he said, I'm basically afraid of everything, including myself. But he stayed and he hung in. And day by day, he started to realize, maybe I'm more than I thought. And it turns out he was. Aubrey cried in the shelter. She wept and said, I'm a city girl. I'm not made for this. Ended up going to the final 3. And then there's Joe, who's one of the iconic guys, plays every day with a target on his back, and yet he still wins and still goes deep.
Number 15. The Ponderosa videos this season are weird, since usually in other seasons we get one at a time as the players get voted off. But due to the Edge of Extinction, they all don't happen until everyone is off. And they were all just kind of dumped on us after the final episode aired. It was a lot. However, it does break the mold as being something different than in past seasons, and that I do appreciate. All that to say, when everyone weighs themselves, Reem has the most fun.
Shut up. 147.6. Dude, I have not weighed that since pre-marriage.
That's nearly 20 pounds.
I lost 20 pounds.
How much did you lose, Ray?
20, which for me is outstanding. How much did you lose? I lost 20 pounds.
Number 16. You would think that being on the island eating only rice, beans, and coconut for close to 39 days would have you be over these foods and not want to intake any of them for quite a while. You would not be Aubrey then.
You had 1 bite of rice. Oh, God, I can't watch. No. Don't me. You don't know what you're talking about. No, those are fake memes.
Number 17. Everybody is food crazy coming off the edge for good reason, and Eric is the surprise hit, for me at least, of this group once he has food in his stomach, as he becomes the most fun and likable person of the cast. Who knew? Why wasn't he like this on the show so I could distinguish between him and Chris?
I don't know if this is gonna work. Don't worry about this. It's not important what this is.
Are you Sherry?
No, I'm not Sherry.
He's gone over and collected pretzels and Oreos.
And Chips Ahoy.
And Chips Ahoy. Now he's putting peanut butter. His face, he's like chocolate.
I'm here with Julia, season 38 Survivor contestant, and reason that I got voted out 12th.
And I, 13.
Number 18. You may or may not know that David prepared for Survivor this season by 3D printing a crap ton of old Survivor puzzles to practice with. He screen capped literally every puzzle from every season, and I now see someone who may be more into the show than I am who is actively playing. Anyways, Wentworth thinks this is funny.
Imagine David just going back through all the seasons, just screenshotting every single challenge.
It's crazy. I spent a month compiling all the puzzles that have been in Survivor into these 2 books, and I have a girlfriend, so it's possible to be obsessive and a geek and a nerd and still maintain a relationship with a member of the opposite sex.
I mean, who has time for this?
Number 19. Joe Anglim has become a hot source of controversy since this season aired due to multiple things. One being an allegation that he used the N-word at camp this season, but the reality is that his humble attitude is seen through by others.
You come across very humble, but you also have like a very big ego too.
It's easy for someone to say, well, do you want me to be honest? And of course you're going, yeah, I want you to be honest. And they go, okay, well, you're an asshole and you are disrespectful and you talk down to people or whatever, or I'm egotistical.
They're just throwing out there some of the things they said, but they're not necessarily doing it in a way that's like bedside manner friendly for the people who are still in a little bit of a broken place.
Number 20. With those 3D printed puzzles that David made, he puts on his best Jeff Probst outfit and hosts a Survivor challenge that takes place between 2 teams. Those 2 teams are Joe and Ron versus Julia and Wentworth. Who do you think wins?
Okay. Want to know what you're playing for?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah.
French fries. Joe and Ron win reward!
I didn't want those cold nuggets anyway.
Yeah, those nuggets suck.
Number 21. I know what you were thinking. Wow, the 1 hour and 51 minute Meet the Cast video this season is so short and accessible to fans, especially those who are just casual watchers of the show. It's probably the most watched video of all time. So I am thankful when Aubrey tries to sell us on why Survivor is so amazing in the video, because everyone on planet Earth watched this.
There is no challenge greater than Survivor. There is nothing that's gonna force you to be your best self in every way, every day. There's nothing that will show you what you're made of in 39 days, except maybe if you get dropped on an island. Well, that's what's happening. We're getting dropped on an island. There's no greater experience or competition in the world.
Number 22. Chris Underwood pregame praises 2 players, those being Boston Rob and Ozzy. And he says, yeah, I'm kind of the baby of these two, though I don't see it.
I want to evolve. I'm tired of being the golden boy. Looking back through the seasons, like there's people that I aspire to be like, you know? Boston Rob's style of leadership. Ozzy, you can't forget about Ozzy, the fish out of water, like the perfect survivor. My goal is to come out here and play little pieces of all these different games. If Rob and Ozzy had a baby, that'd be me.
Number 23. Scott Duncan is the cinematographer on the Survivor crew that's been there since season 1 and is still there to this day. He shoots all that amazing slow motion footage we see every season, and that gets used in the theme songs as well. In a cool behind the scenes featurette for this season, he gives us the inside scoop on what it is like doing this job and what he looks for when he gets those shots. And let me just say, I miss the theme song.
Each shot has to be a story. You take each shot and like expand it into a story of what maybe happened, what might happen, what happens with the weather, what's the person doing in the shot, to everybody to respond a little differently, but get emotional about the shot. And you stack these emotional shots up, be it the landscape, weather, underwater, the location, the persons like challenging themselves in the environment, and every shot has to give you that goosebump.
Number 24. Something I say over and over again on my podcast when analyzing who might be winning that season is simply pointing out that if something interesting, memorable, or character revealing is made into a secret scene instead of being on the actual show, then whoever that scene is focused on is likely not winning, though it isn't bulletproof. That is definitely the case here though with this scene about Eric.
One of my to-dos, I wanted to try spearfishing, you know? And the best part is, for me, it gets me out of the game for a little bit. I'm constantly counting heads. Who's here? Who's not here? Where's Joe? Where's Aubrey? There's no rest. It might look like you're resting, but you're not. Sure enough, I hit one. I'm starting to get the hang of it a little bit. And turns out I've caught 6 fish so far. They weren't huge, but they're edible, you know, and the tribe seems to appreciate it. Certainly, it's good to know that in a pinch, I could go out there and I could catch some fish and maybe add a little value.
Number 25, War Dog. But why? Why did a grown man name himself this? Don't let Taj from Tocantins find out you did this, War Dog. He doesn't come across as a crazy man quite like Coach. I mean, the Dragon Slayer. So where did the name come from?
I'm more than just Dan. I'm the War Dog. It's my persona. It's been me. It was started as a nickname 20 years ago. To my first license plate in 1999 was War Dog. To when I realized in 2012 in Afghanistan, I kind of merged as a defense mechanism. War Dog and Dan became kind of one person. Every time I applied to the show, I was applied to the War Dog. I got the tattoo right here to say it.
Number 26. During that brief Meet the Cast video that literally everyone has seen, it's a breezy hour and 51 minutes. Reem says a lot of motivational things, and I feel like it's only appropriate to montage all of them to epic music.
Don't stop. Never stop. I want to do this because it's cool. Don't stop. Do it for yourself. Self-growth. Why do we have to be so stuck in all the material crap we have? Why don't we just dumb it down? And I want to do it for Reem. I really want to do this for me, man. Don't stop. Never stop. You know, you get stuck in a slump. Get out of the slump. Don't stop. Do it for yourself. Self-growth.
Number 27. When Ron Clark was in the casting process for this season, he was also in the casting process with some of the members of David vs. Goliath as well. And as it turns out, Natalie Cole that we saw on the show was exactly the same when they were casting her.
The only person I was at casting with was Natalie. We had to go take this psychological test, and we're sitting there to take the psychological test, and the psychologist goes, "Okay, everyone, and you can maybe begin in 3, 2, and Natalie stands up and walks over to the coffee table, and she's like, "Oh man, what are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm getting some tea." And so I'm like, "Oh my goodness." And so then we have to wait for her, and then she comes back and sits down, and Letty goes in 3, 2, and then Natalie gets up again and goes to the treat table, and she's getting Skittles, and the lady's like, "Excuse me, ma'am, what are you doing?" She's like, "I want some Skittles." So in my head, I call her Skittles. So when season 37 came on and I saw Natalie on TV, I was like, "Oh my God, Lloyd, it's Skittles."
Number 28. Ron Clark wasn't supposed to be on this cast at all, no joke. Lynn Spillman didn't want him, and it actually took Jeff Probst stepping in to get Ron on the season. Another win for Jeff, who got Angelina on David vs. Goliath in season 37, when Lynn didn't want her either. Maybe this is why Lynn got fired after this season.
It's 2 a.m. and she's like, "Do you want to do it?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I want to do it. Yeah, I want to do it." I said, I gotta go to work tomorrow, and I've got to make sure, I got to get my schedule straight. And she said, "Well, Ron, look, I don't even know why they chose you because you weren't even an alternate. I don't know. Jeff just called and said we must have Ron." And so I don't know. You just go ahead and tell me yes right now. I was like, "Well, I'm not telling you yes. I just have to get my life straight tomorrow."
Number 29. So what the heck does one need to do to be cast on Survivor? It's the age-old question that I'm sure has changed multiple times over the course of the show.
When we're casting, we're looking for people who can tell a story. So I would say the first thing is, tell us a story. Let's hear how you talk. Another thing is to see examples of your charisma. I mean, it's storytelling, it's charisma, and then this sounds totally cliche, but it really is be yourself. I mean, the gimmicks are fun sometimes. We see all sorts of weird things. A lot of people just like, look how crazy I can be. I'm going to be naked and jump in the snow. But it really isn't about the gimmicks. It's about showing who you are as a person, show how well you can tell the story, and then show us how much you love the game.
Number 30. Speaking of how things have changed over the years, Matt actually does explain how the show used to cast in the early days versus how they cast in the late 30s. And I wonder if this is still applicable today.
Earlier seasons, we were casting for personality, and now it's people who love the game, people who can tell stories, and people who are charismatic. People who can be themselves. That's a big part of it.
Number 31. When an idol is played, how quickly is it rehidden? That's what I want to know. Is it that same night? Is it the next morning? This is the stuff a player needs to know when on the island.
Well, usually, I mean, here's the thing. There's no definitive rule on anything, but we tend to put an idol out as soon as one is played. I mean, and that's why you see people out there looking at night. I mean, moonlight, if the moonlight is out there, people are looking. As the seasons have progressed, people have become a lot more aggressive looking for idols. And that's my suggestion to people. Look for an idol.
Number 32. Did you know Rick Devens is a news reporter on TV? I had no idea. What a big secret. Obviously, I'm kidding, but in this secret scene, amongst others, he gives a news update, and keep in mind, this is before he is voted off the first time.
Swap or not. A mix-up today on Survivor. Plus, Wendy whines again. A chicken bites it. How will her new tribe react? And Lauren recovers from a nasty afternoon to suffer an even nastier evening. Good evening, I'm Rick Devens. You're watching Survivor News.
Number 33. We all should have known Wentworth wasn't going to win when her birthday happens on the show, and it's reserved for a secret extended scene. To be fair, her birthday does happen every time she plays, though.
Happy birthday to you.
Hey, you guys.
Happy birthday.
Hey, my 3rd birthday on Survivor. Woohoo! I think the older you get, the wiser you get. So now that I'm 32 years old, I feel like I am playing this game a little differently and with a little more wisdom.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Wentworth.
Thanks, guys.
Happy birthday, Wentworth.
Number 34. I love when a secret scene covers a scene we saw on the show, but then does it from someone else's point of view. Like in the pre-merge when Keith snuck off from the group to look for an advantage on the edge, but gets barely beat out. Here we see his side of the story.
Yes, I did rush off, because that's what I wanted to do. But at the same time, who wouldn't rush off? Why would you not rush off? Because if you're thinking me, I'm thinking this is like a second chance to get back in the game. So of course, I'm fully ready to just rush off.
Keith, man, I was enjoying my breakfast, and then you come up here and you get nothing.
We'll do whatever it takes.
You know what karma is, guys? You got nothing.
I don't even care. This is my, I will do whatever it takes. I keep trying to push and push and push, but yet these freaking Goliaths that I have just keep conquering. Like when is my, like, and I know everybody's out here for their family and everybody's out here like for the goal, but like I'm just ready for a breakthrough and I haven't seen it yet. God, I feel broken. But best believe I'm not done. I promise you I'm not done. And this is not gonna get me out. Like that low that I hit, that just showed me how much I can climb.
Number 35, where exactly did Rick get the idea to do the news update? Because he wasn't doing it from the start of the season. If anything, he was trying to be the Kool-Aid man, not a news anchor. Well, as it turns out, this wasn't Rick's idea at all.
That was not my idea. One time, I forget what the first time was, one of the producers just said, hey, can you give us like a news update about what just happened? And I said, dun, 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 dun. So I hit the music. And I gave them this news update, and from then, I guess they just loved it. Mm-hmm. And from then on, every interview I did, they asked for a news update. I mean, there must be 50 of them on the cutting room floor. Mm-hmm. And the camera guys would start getting into it, like maybe you can like hold a stick up as a microphone. Mm-hmm. You know, like, so I think it was just something that really entertained them and distracted them.
Number 36. I love to hear a good cover story, a good story of what you tell others when you're going on Survivor, because you can't just tell them I'm going on Survivor. And I love even more to hear when others figure out that your story sucks and they all know something is up. So what was Rick's cover story?
That a friend of mine from college that I became an Eagle Scout with was putting together a documentary that he was selling to Netflix about hiking the Appalachian Trail. So I was going to be gone for 7 weeks, hiking part of the trail, no cell phones, no anything. So when I came back, I was just like, yeah, I'm skinny and I'm this. People said, you know, did you see any bears? And I was being as vague as possible. No bears. And my coworker, Danielle Apolinar, comes in. She spent like a day on the Appalachian Trail and saw like 3 bears and blew up my whole story. People were like, man, something must have happened out there. He doesn't want to talk about the Appalachian Trail at all.
Number 37. Did the cast know about the Edge of Extinction, or did production really pull the wool over their eyes? Rick can only speak for the tribes he was on, but here's what he has to say about what they were thinking on the island.
The first thing I thought of was, isn't that the movie, the Jurassic Park movie right now? Edge of Extinction? Jeff like goes through all of their stories and all the 4 returning stories and kind of sells it like they were right on the edge of winning and then they went extinct. And then all the craziness goes of getting back to camp. To my recollection, I think there was maybe one conversation where somebody was like, you know, there's probably something more to this Edge of Extinction thing. What do you think that means? Do you think like people come back or anything? And everyone was like, no. I think it's just like it was just, okay, that's it. Looking back, I'm surprised at how little we discussed it, because all we had was time to discuss the most inane things.
Number 38. The Edge of Extinction is boring for the players, no doubt about it. The way many of them come off the island shows how an extended period of time on there gives them time to grow and think. But for Rick, it gave him time to watch hermit crabs.
There's a little hermit crab I found that had no shell. So I found him one, but it looks a little too big. So I got him a smaller one. I'm hoping he'll come out and give it a shot. It's the monotony of the day that drives you crazy. Here, you want to keep playing the game, but you're losing your mind because there's nothing going on. It's enough to drive you crazy.
Number 39. War Dog had his spot to talk to everyone during the game. An on-island office, if you will. However, what he really needed was a lookout or something, because in this secret scene, he gets busted.
Quiet.
Sorry, I can leave.
No, you're fine.
No, you're good, you're good, you're
fine.
good.
You're fine. War Dog's gonna sink his own ship in time. He doesn't always think things through completely.
Well, I'll go back up there. I didn't mean to interrupt you guys.
You're fine. Here, you guys can talk. You guys can talk.
It's okay. I'm gonna go fix the coffee, and you guys can continue whatever it was.
We need a code word. This happens too often. What about like mustard?
Number 40. Do you want another Rick Devens news update? Well, I have one just for you. This time right after Rick wins immunity in the post-merge, and I am shocked this wasn't just included in the show to hammer home how dominant he was being.
Dun 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 dun. The world is shocked. Deceptive athleticism. He does it again. The puzzle doesn't puzzle Rick Devens. And I won immunity for the 2nd time in a row. 2nd time all season. The person that'll be most proud of me is going to be my dad. And I think when he sees me excelling, he's going to be so
happy for me and just proud. It's gonna be a really cool moment. Everything I do in life, I wanna make my dad proud.
Number 41, Victoria was secretly, or maybe not so secretly, on track to win. It is talked about in post-game interviews and even during Ponderosa. However, what isn't talked about too often is her death stare, which scares some.
I was doing something a little devious and I would look over and catch Victoria looking at me from a distance. I would just pee a little bit, like, oh no! She's gonna kill me! She's onto me!
Number 42. Did Lauren feel dumb for playing the fake idol at Tribal? You bet she did. What she miscalculated though was the meme potential she thought it would create, as she thought this was going to be some huge deal, and really it was kind of just a footnote.
I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I mean, I had a real idol that would have gotten me to the Final Four. It would have got me the Final Four. You know what? To go out on a Tribal like that is going to be like legendary and hilarious, and I'm sure they're gonna make memes of me being like, here's my real idol, let me play my fake idol instead. Stupid, stupid, stupid.
Number 43. Who lost the most weight this season? It's always nice to see that not much has changed over the course of the show, as Rick Devens sets the record for this season in weight loss.
I want to lose more than 20.
I have no idea when 168.6. I wasn't this small in high school. I think that makes you the winner now.
Number 44. You may be asking yourself, did the jury love Rick Devens? After all, they did clap when he got voted out. The better question is, does a fat kid love cake?
Welcome to Ponderosa. You guys know how to make a guy feel good. Rooting for ya.
Welcome to Ponderosa. And then a verse you could say would be like, now you eat peanut butter.
You get to have a shower. I mean, you can just, it's fun. And
you just lost $1 million.
Number 45. But seriously, would Rick have won if he were sitting at the end? Sure, they can sing him a song coming out of the game, but that doesn't mean he's going to win, right?
Was I gonna win?
He's easily the most deserving player to win this game.
I think a lot of people were sad that he got voted out of the game because he was the odds-on favorite to win.
Number 46. I kind of wondered who would have been voted out of Comma if they had went to Tribal in the pre-swap or post-swap pre-merge. Well, Victoria has the answer, and I'm a bit surprised, all things considered.
Had we had gone to Tribal in the beginning of the game, our first vote out was Aurora. So it was interesting to see me constantly being shown as saying, yeah, we got to get rid of like Joe and Aubrey. That wasn't how I felt right away. I was like, in general, yeah, they're threatening players, but I had no intention of taking them out early in the game.
Number 47. The advantage menu Ron found on the boat this season ended up amounting to a whole lot of nothing due to Comma's complete dominance in challenges. Ron says he considered stealing the chickens when the other tribe got those and he didn't, but he saw how pitiful they were and decided, this isn't worth it. Those guys are constantly fighting with each other, and if I get on their bad side, they're gonna fight with me. So how did he even know to find this menu in the first place? What tricks did he use?
At the front of the boat, there's probably like 10,000 cameras. And then I'm thinking, well, they really probably want to capture this moment of somebody finding this clue. So they would probably put the clue somewhere near all those 10,000 cameras. I run all the way to the front of the boat thinking it's going to be somewhere where all these cameras are pointing. And so I see like 10 cameras pointed at one spot. And I'm like, it's probably in this direction. And so I look and then there it is. It says secret advantage. So I freak out.
Number 48. No one found out who Ron really was until the edge of Extinction. And he can thank one person for forcing that information out into the open.
But Rima and I got along really well. And so like we bonded quickly. And she goes, tell me about yourself. And I said, oh, I'm a school teacher. She said, no, I want to know it all. Dude, I got time.
Dude, come on.
Dude, tell me. I want to know the details. What's the deets? Go deeper, dude. What's the deets? And so I sit there and tell her the whole story. Because she kept going deeper and no one else really had. Everybody, come over here. Dude, I had to tell you. She tells everybody. And I'm like, it's fine. And at that point, I'm thinking,
it's fine.
Number 49, final secret. Ron Clark was on The Price is Right, and yes, the quality is garbage. That's why I saved it for the end, but here's how he did.
Ron, you win. That was a very good bid. Boy, he's doing it about as fast as any contestant I've ever had in this game. Keep going. Go on now. You still have... Go. There, you got it. Yeah. Go, Ron, go. Spin, Ron, spin. And Ron, I see in your future 80 cents and you win. You'll be in the showcase at the end of the show. Ron, you got rather excited when you saw that pool table. Now's your chance to win it.
This is drama. This is stressful. 16,999.
$16,999 is his bid. If you don't go over, you win your showcase. What's the matter now? Do you think you're over?
Oh no.
$16,999. Actual retail price, $19,851. You win with a difference of $28.52. You are the winner. Old Dad gets his vote.
So which secret surprised you the most? Comment below and let me know. Thanks for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. See you all next time.